Welcome back, class, to the final lecture of this course on social psychology, attitudes, and social cognition. Well, social psychology is the scientific study of how people's thoughts, feelings, and actions are affected by others. It's all about attitudes, attributions, and some other concepts we'll go over, but first and foremost, attitudes are evaluations of a particular person, behavior, belief, or concept. Persuasion is a core element of attitudes involving changing the attitudes of others. And how easily we can change the attitudes of others depends upon a few different sources here. The message source, characteristics of the message. Okay, so what are the characteristics of the information that you're providing? You would hope that would be an element of persuasion. But characteristics of the target, okay, your audience, also is very important. How similar the audience is to yourself is very important. And so there are characteristics of the message deliverer as well that I don't really have. Well, that's the message source. Okay, so I didn't really point that out. But message source, that's what I mean, is that it's very important. It's been shown over and over again in a wide variety of research, whether it be psychological research, political, polling research, and so forth. Been shown many times that it's not necessarily the message itself that matters to a lot of people, a lot of audiences. Rather, it's the source of the message. Okay, the more similar the message deliverer is to the audience, the more likely the audience is to listen to that person and accept their message, be persuaded by their message. The whether that be age, race, sex, and so forth, those are all very relevant. The more attractive, the taller, especially for a male, height is very relevant. But attractiveness works for males and females in terms of the message source. Okay, so the more attractive, the more likely the audience is to accept the message. Even if they don't admit that, the audience members don't admit that at a conscious level, it's very much relevant at an unconscious level. We unconsciously just tend to pay more attention and believe people who are more attractive. Okay. So information processing is what I'm really talking about here in terms of persuasion, delivering a message, and is an argument that there are two different routes, at least two different routes to information processing. The central route really is what you want. Okay, you want an audience to give thoughtful consideration of the issues and arguments used in persuasion, but what often happens really is more peripheral route processing, which is consideration of the source, like what I was just talking about, the attractiveness, the height, the just how well of an orator a person is, how good of a speaker they are, and related general information about the source, the person delivering the message, rather than the message itself. Okay, and this, as we all know, so often comes into play when it comes to politics. Cognitive dissonance, that's something I'm going to describe in great detail in the next segment.